Hey YouTube, this is Southern Pepper One. Today I'm going to talk about a subject I normally don't talk about. It's a subject I'm very passionate about, and I enjoy talking about it, but I just haven't shared on YouTube. And that's called trauma gear. Now there's two types of trauma gear. There's trauma gear like that we all have. We all love to talk about it, use it. That's trauma gear that causes trauma. But today I want to talk about gear that you use to treat trauma, and that's injuries. What I want to talk about is our retreat group's medical plan and what we're doing to make sure we can be self-sufficient in all areas, and being able to treat medical issues in our group is important. In a true wrol situation, there will be no 911. There'll be no doctors. There's going to be no support structure that we enjoy today. So, being self-sufficient in all aspects, from commo to food to firearms to the list goes on is medical. So I want to talk about some medical stuff, and I thoroughly enjoy it. I went ahead years ago and took an EMT class, emergency medical technician, and took that at a local community college, and I loved it. I had to do some work on the ambulance or in the emergency room. I picked the ambulance because I wanted to see the raw injuries, not already been doctored up by the paramedics. And I thoroughly enjoyed that. I did a lot of extra time, and then in the military I took as many classes I could get. I spent a lot of time with the medics learning, just so I'm a better soldier, plus a better person, and definitely a better prepper. So I'm heavily into learning. I try to learn as much as I can medically. Our retreat group is many families, and it's we have an EMT, we have a RN nurse, we have a pharmacist, and we're actively looking for a surgeon or emergency room doctor. So if you're in the area of South Carolina and you're looking to network and to join a group, and you have some great, good skill, send me a PM. It'd be great to talk to you. So today I'm going to address the medical side. I haven't addressed, I don't think, in any of my videos, and I'm going to start. And if there is a desire or need, I will start doing a lot of basic classes like simple trauma injuries, from gunshots to compound fractures, simple fractures, to the list goes on and on. I think it's important to learn these things. Some preppers spend too much time with this stuff right here, and gear and night vision and the cool stuff, and I think we forget about the basic supplies that we need. We've tried to think of everything we're going to need. If we were cut off from all assistance, what do we need? We need oxygen, we need airway maintenance plan, so we've addressed that. We need a lot of other things. So I'm just going to show them to you really quick, so you can see what we are doing as a group. A lot of the stuff is over the counter. Now, our kit, as we would like to say, is not like one or two small bags. It is enough to fill up a room, so you could make a clinic. And why would we want that? Well, to treat our own, plus treat neighbors, treat people in charity or for barter. And this can also, doesn't have to be used for the end of the world or a wrol situation. It could be a serious disaster where FEMA or any type of emergency people can't get in for days or maybe a week. It's if we have a serious earthquake in this country. This way we will be able to help loved ones and neighbors. Some might think, oh, you're going overboard. Well, with the amount of people we desire to treat, we're not. Actually, we are sorely lacking in certain areas, and we need to make some corrections. Now, if you're just a family or a couple people, you don't need all this stuff. We've decided to go beyond just treating a few people to as many as we can do. Let me show you a few things what we've done. We got a lot of material for casts, we got for splints, any type of injury that anyone's ever had. If you get a brace, save the brace, put it in your kit. Going over here, we have bandages. You will never have enough bandages. Never. Let me tell you a story. 6 or 7 years ago, a soldier got shot in Iraq, and he had a nice wound in his calf. He was sent back to the States, and I was here, and I took care of him for a little bit. And what I had to do was I just helped him change his dressing and pack his wound, which I learned a lot from that. He had to do it, I think, 3 or 4 times a day. He then went on leave. He got 6 weeks to go home, and he still had to pack his wound. So we went to the hospital and we picked up the supplies for him so his parents could pick him up. And it actually filled up the back of a Toyota Corolla trunk and the back seat. The amount of material that he used to just change his dressings was unbelievable. The average person would not comprehend how much stuff is used. This was one bullet wound, one injury. So if you have to compound multiple people with multiple injuries, if you have just a basic first aid kit, it will be used up within a matter of 20-30 minutes just to treat the initial injury, to just try to keep them alive. You need to think, if you're a retreat group, especially if you have a group of people, you need to think of multiple cases, boxes of 4x4s, 2x2s, different gauzes. The list goes on and on. You need cases of this stuff, and just not a little box or a little bag. You're going to consume massive amounts. There's a lot of things I want to talk about. I want to start a series if there's a desire, just to teach people how to do the basic things. Gloves are very important. Remember, you might have boxes of gloves, but get some sterile gloves in case you have to do any minor surgeries or some injuries where you're going to be touching where you don't want to expose germs into the body. I'm not going to explain everything here, but you're going to need a lot of stuff. You're going to need it'd be basically like a emergency first aid clinic if you want to sustain yourself and be self-sufficient in a wrol situation. Some of this stuff, you might say, I don't know how to use that stuff. Get whatever you can, because you're going to come across people that have the skills. If you go to a third world country, you're going to be able to find doctors in those countries. But the problem is the doctors don't have clean equipment. They don't have IVs. They don't have anything clean, or really anything like this that's disposable. So if you have it, you can find someone that has the skill to take care of you. In a wrol situation, that would be true. You're going to find a doctor that doesn't have any of his equipment or supplies, but if you have it, you're going to be able to get some service. There's a lot of things that you're going to need. So what I'm trying to do is stimulate your thinking. If you have a retreat group with multiple families, you need to sit down, and if you're not experienced in the medical field, you need to find some friends that aren't. Just sit down and ask and pick their brain, figure out what they use, from IVs to oxygen to all kinds of other trauma gear. Just everything you're going to need. Just think when you go to the doctor or an emergency room what they have in there. Granted, we can't do what they do, but there's a lot of little things that we can get to make life comfortable. So get these things. Then you need to get some training. The best thing I did was take that EMT course. I thoroughly enjoyed it, had fun, learned so much. I'm so much more confident with that, plus with the training I got in the military. Think about surgical kits. Yes, you might not know how to use it, but guess what? Somebody might, and that might be the thing you need. There's all kinds of stuff you're going to need, from sutures, dental equipment. You might say, I can't afford all this stuff. Okay, I totally agree. That bag right there was $1 at the dollar store, and it has some nice compartments where you can slide stuff in. Go to flea markets, go to gun shows. The Pakistans make a lot of surgical equipment. It's not the best on the market, but it will definitely do. I have some German equipment that is definitely much better quality, but it's definitely very expensive. So think about what you're going to need. If you are a retreat group, this needs to be put on top of your list of priorities. It's just not having one bag. That is not a sufficient plan, not a long-term plan at all. It's good, don't take it wrong. Yes, you need that. But if you're going to have a retreat group, you need to start thinking of many things you're going to need. Yeah, enough to fill up a small room. Yes, it costs money. It just gets back to what's your priorities. And if you have a ton of those and you'd rather spend your money on that instead of this, you might need to rethink your plan. I have no idea how much you need to stock. I can assure you it will not be enough, but do your best. Get some first aid training. If you work for a business, maybe they have a plan where you can go and get some first aid training for free through the business. Maybe join a volunteer fire department. But you need to do something. This is just to stimulate some thought, and if there's a desire, I can start doing some good videos on just the common things. I hope this got you thinking. Thanks for watching.